All right, Gulnur Aybet is a professor at Bahçeşehir University here in Istanbul, and she joins us in the studio. Gulnur, help me understand this. Now, Turkey is blaming the YPG for yesterday's attack, yet the political wing of the YPG, the PYD, denies this. Why is there discrepancy?
Well, of course they're going to deny it, aren't they? I mean, they're not going to. This is what terrorist organizations do. And also the political wing of the YPG are sort of setting themselves as a legitimate actor in the Syrian peace process. They want to have a say in the table. So, and they're not considered a terrorist organization by all the other parties, just Turkey. So obviously they want to maintain that legitimacy, and they've always maintained their distance with the PKK. But the reality is they are, I mean, the armed wing of the Syrian Kurds, which is the YPG, is very closely affiliated with the PKK, and they help the PKK across the border, and everybody knows this.
Okay, so talking about their aim to, their attempt at gaining legitimacy, how important do you think it is for President Erdogan and Prime Minister Davutoglu to actually name them and link them to yesterday's attack?
Well, I think it's a very significant step in the sense that, you have this it's a very unusual terrorist attack. I think it's a big turning point because for the first time you see a terrorist organization that's targeting the heart of Ankara. I mean, as we know, PKK have usually targeted military targets, but never outside of the southeast regions, never in the capital, never very close to Turkey's actual security apparatus in this way. So I think it's a very sort of daring, very bold attack that's a big turning point in Turkey's war against terror. And for the Turkish authorities to, come out and say that it is actually PKK, as they found out, but with a YPG component helping in this attack, I think is extremely significant.
How do you expect the United States to react, given that they don't recognize the YPG as a terror organization? This is where things get complicated.
I think, there has to be some really tough love and tough talk between the two allies at this stage. Turkey has been saying for some time that, look, I mean, we understand that you consider the YPG as a very effective fighting force against ISIS on the ground, but you're arming them and they're helping the PKK. And we consider them a terrorist organization. Now, the Americans have been saying over and over again, we absolutely empathize with Turkey's fight against the PKK, which is a terrorist organization, but we see the YPG as something separate. Now, it's going to become increasingly difficult for the American authorities to maintain that position after yesterday's attack and after the Turkish government have announced the YPG had a hand in it, regardless of what the political wing of the YPG say in terms of denial. So I think this is going to make it more difficult for the Americans. And I think, the US are aware of this very tricky situation, which is why they have urged the YPG not to take any more land and take advantage of the sort of vacuum situation in Syria right now. Because in Syria right now, it's not just the YPG, everybody's trying to land grab before a final settlement, because this is what happens when the war gets to this stage. And of course, the Russian airstrikes have been very helpful for the YPG as well in terms of clearing the way. So they see this as a golden opportunity, if you like, to create their own reality on the ground. And the United States, I think, is quite sensitive to that. And that's why they've urged them, don't take advantage of the situation because it's really upsetting the Turks. But, you showed that map earlier on with this. I mean, Turkey does not want to see a geographically contiguous zone held by the YPG on the border, and they view this as a very serious national security threat.
Okay. Bahçeşehir University's Gulnur Aybet, we thank you for that analysis.